daughter is asleep in the room next door. My pride and joy. I'm trying my best not to wake her. Poor love looks like she hasn't slept in weeks. She's had a troubled life. This is the first time I've seen her in years, although it's like she's never left. We've always had a loving, close relationship. Oh, sure, we've argued. But mother and daughter hasn't. We've always resolved it. Every family has their dark secrets, ones that they would prefer no one to know about. But this one will traumatize me until the day I die. I was a medical waste assistant when it happened. I still am. I stack the individual tubs of medical waste on top of each other. It isn't the best job in the world, but it pays the bills. I am grateful for that. After years of working there, I'd never heard a noise. What on earth was happening? Had something magically sprung to life and arisen? What if it attacked me? I remember my breath hitching as I drew back and letting out a gasp as I tugged at the lid. I must have been insane. Anyone else would have run miles in the opposite direction, but there I was, tugging at the lid. I looked down into the tub. A baby. A very much alive baby gasping for air. At that moment, I made a transformative decision, and I picked her up. Oh, she fit into my arms perfectly, as if she was supposed to be there. Her frail frame curved against my chest as I held her close. Her short, dark hair curved against her scalp perfectly, her tiny hands clenched into fists, and her wrinkly eyes and scrunched up face let me know that I had to save her. I've always followed the rule book, and I have never opened the tubs. But if I followed the rules this time, then the baby would have died. She was a miracle. A perfect baby. I knew I couldn't keep her. I wanted to, don't get me wrong, but another mouth to feed just wouldn't have been logical. After all, what if I failed to be a good mother to her too? I wanted her to have the best chance in life, even if that meant it wasn't with me. I played my part in her life story. I was content. I was confident that I was making the right decision. as if it was meant to be, my co-worker and close friend Ellie was desperately longing for a child. This world can be cruel, and she was not able to produce one of her own. It was a miracle, a blessing in disguise. Oh, we knew it wasn't by the book, but Ellie was so happy and accepting of the baby as her own. She had her whole future ahead of her. She was so natural and nurturing. I just knew it was going to be okay. Looking into her familiar eyes, her sweet smile, recognition and understanding, she was going to be absolutely fine. You might wonder why I never attempted to contact the mother. Well, I had written her off as a monster, a cruel scoundrel with no regard for her own flesh and blood. To even think about the mother made me feel sick to my stomach. Was that fair to the baby? Never knowing, maybe wanting answers. I thought back to those blue, longing, beautiful eyes that screamed out at me when I first held her, and it brought back memories of all the times that I held my own daughter, my beautiful, innocent child. Our relationship torn apart by her choice in romance. I told her if she didn't get rid of that useless waste of oxygen, then she had better leave. So she did. Until last week, when she hopelessly knocked on the door and told me what she'd done. She said, I knew I couldn't raise her on my own, and I knew you wouldn't approve, so I got rid of her. And I went to the hospital, and I left her in one of the waste tubs. She repeated this over and over to herself, distraught at her own actions. So we could have raised the baby together. The moment that had filled my heart to the fullest had suddenly shattered it into a million pieces. My own daughter had handed over her child to someone else. She couldn't even look me in the eye. Why? Her own flesh and blood? I had handed over my own grandchild. How could I tell her that I, her mother, had given away her child to someone else? She's only just come back. I won't lose her again. Why did she have to run off with him? She's lying there asleep, whereas I'm awake, left with a devastating question that will always haunt my mind. Who really gave the baby away? Her or me?